I want to talk to you about another Python project I've been working on. This is already something like 1.5 years ago that I made this. This is a 7-color e-ink display. It's from a company called Pimoroni. And what the wonderful thing about this is you can put a Raspberry Pi on them. They have a pin out here and you just click the Raspberry Pi on it. This is a Raspberry Pi 3B if I recall. And from then on you can put anything, program anything to put on these displays as you want. So what I was thinking, well, basically I bought the display and then I was thinking what I could do with it. And at a certain point I thought that it would be really nice and inspirational to have a cycling stats display. So I do a lot of cycling, and with this display you, for example, could show the amount of kilometers I rode this year or this month. I got that data because I use an app called Strava, and they every time I come back from a ride, my cycling computer uploads my ride data to Strava, so you can get all the data from there. So there was a wonderful idea, but how to do it? How do you get the data from Strava? Well, for this I need to learn how to work with the OAuth 2 protocol, because you need to authenticate yourself, and of course they need to have good security. So OAuth 2 is a way a lot of companies use authentication, which is not to say that it's easy, because it needs kind of handshakes of you give this token, you give this passphrase, and then you get a token back, and then you need to have a refresh token, all kind of stuff. Luckily, there was a blog about this from an Italian guy. I will put the link in the show notes. Who all figured it all out. So I could basically copy a lot of Python code from him. And in no time, as soon as I got the authentication working, from then on it was smooth sailing, because from then on it was just reading out the data, getting in a dictionary in Python, and pick out the attributes that you want and do aggregations and all kind of stuff. So that was very cool. And so after a while, I managed to create these displays. Interesting thing about the display, the image on the background I created with Stable Diffusion, because back then I was completely, I liked Stable Diffusion very much, and I was just generating all kinds of cycling related images that I could put in a background. So that was that. So for about 5 months, this was updating every hour. So when I came back from a ride, I would and I saw it was the hour was about to change. I quickly looked at the display, and then it was flashing. It takes about 20 seconds to refresh, and then I would see my new stats, and I was very proud of my new achievements. That all worked, like I said, for about 5 months, and then things changed. At Strava, they changed the API, and when I tried to get my refresh token, suddenly I got something like bad request, 400 bad requests, or 400 bad gateway or something. And they changed another thing, because beforehand I was able to reach them via, I think, mail or Twitter, and they would answer me with what I could do to get it working. But now they created something that was called Strava Community, which was basically them saying to us developers, you figure it out with yourself, right? We step outside, we step out of the loop, and you can help you can help yourself. And unfortunately, I sent a question, and there was never an answer that really worked. So from then on, yeah, unfortunately, and that's the sad end of this project. From then on, I had to do the refreshing myself manually. So it still works, but for now, to update the display, I need to run my Python script. Then I get a link, I click on the link, then it will create, then it will go to the browser, I click on accept, and then there will be a link coming back with a refresh token. I copy the refresh token, paste it in my Python terminal, it will create a token file. I copy the token file via FileZilla to the Raspberry Pi, and on the Raspberry Pi I rerun my Python code, and then it works again. So kind of a hassle, but I still do it because I want to update my display, of course, every time. So that is kind of, yeah, that is how these hobby projects can turn out to work. That's, yeah, you're great, right? You use an API from a company, and they change the deal, and then suddenly it doesn't work anymore. So kind of a sad ending, but still happy that I can manually update it and see that this is still working. The latest change I done to this is not so much the code, but I was using these stable diffusion generated images, but I now like more and more to use my own photos, and I have to resize them to 600 by 448 pixels, but it still works. And I have to say, these e-ink displays are still very cool. It's so cool what you can basically program with them. I can imagine all kinds of projects with that. I recently bought a new one. This is also from Pimoroni. They got bigger ones now. There's a difference, by the way. They have the inky displays that where you can put a Raspberry Pi on it, and these are often out of stock. And you would wonder why, because these inky frames, they actually have a Raspberry Pi integrated. It's a Raspberry Pi Pico. So I'm thinking, well, that's much easier. I don't have to do any connections. It just works. Well, the thing is that with the Raspberry Pi Picos, they're not like a machine that you can log on with a terminal. You cannot log on to them with a putty or something. While these Raspberry Pis, you can just treat them like a server. With these ones, with the Raspberry Pi Picos, you have to connect your display via USB to your laptop, and then you can use an IDE to push the Python code to them. Still, I can see all kinds of interesting things I can do with this. For example, I'm thinking, well, this is the astronomy picture of the day. That is one of the Python examples they put on it, which is cool. But I'm thinking what would be cool to have is a display where I can see the calendar for my upcoming appointments. That would be nice to have updated every maybe hour or something. So for this I need to connect with the Google Calendar for my company, and that would also require an OAuth 2 authentication, but I think the OAuth 2 solution from Google is a little bit more stable, I hope. So that's all kind of stuff you can do, and I hope they will create bigger and bigger and bigger displays, because my dream will be that I will have poster-sized e-ink displays in my house where I can change the posters every hour with space images or interesting news or all kinds of other stuff. So you can imagine what the possibilities are endless with this. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Maybe kind of a sad story. Hopefully one day, one beautiful day, there will be a solution for my refresh token issue. But anyway, I hope you will agree that e-ink displays with Raspberry Pis, these are very cool. Oh, I forgot to say one more thing. As you can see, this display, it has a wooden frame, because on itself, it's kind of crude, right? This e-ink display. But for this, I was thinking, where can I get a display, a frame for it? And I asked my father, and he built this from wood. So that was very nice. So one more beautiful addition to this project.